All right, thanks again for joining us. It's another week of the Habibi Show. It is now episode 5. Now we have a good 6 followers this week.
That's right.
Yes, my grandmother decided to tune in. But it's been successful. We got quite a few people now following and listening to us, and it's interesting to see this podcast continue to grow. I appreciate all the feedback from last week's my Oprah Winfrey moments and my crying and it
was very touching.
Yeah, that was. I got some text messages on it too as well about some deep stuff that I shared last week. But this week we want to move past that. That's part of it. But we also want to talk about friendships. This week. Habibi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I just want to say it's amazing. I watch this guy every week now, and he goes from like before the camera is rolling from like this to like, and welcome to. I don't know how he does that.
I'm on my phone.
But he goes from this to this, so that's very nice. But by the way, I'm not saying it's fake. No, it's real. But he kind of move around quickly.
Yeah, it's
I'm very impressed.
Thank you, brother. No, when you're in work, when I'm in work mode, and then go into this, it's a different type of work mode. I know it's not fake, but this, if you catch me away from my phone or not working, this is typically how I am. I think. I hope my wife agrees with that. I think she disagrees with that.
And I'm very excited about the quinceañera that's coming up.
Yeah, we have the quinceañera coming up. I'm really excited about it.
One, so that's really cool.
It's a lot of money, a lot of effort. A lot of time spent.
Money is not everything.
No, it's not.
Okay. You don't have to mention it. Your daughter is going to watch this and say, oh, Dad is pissed off because he's spending money.
She's absolutely worth every penny and
that
more.
Sounds much better.
And more.
That sounds much better. Instead of starting by saying it's a lot of money. No.
Well, it's expensive. It's just really expensive. I made an offer to my daughter a year ago, saying, hey, I will pay for half. I'll give you cash. Half of what it would cost. And I'll get you put a down payment on a car.
That is horrible. Because the quinceañera is not about the money and saving the money. But it's okay. But obviously she made a good choice.
She did. And
she said, I want the car and the cash and the quinceañera.
Yeah, we pushed it back because earlier this year, we were going through some financial issues and just trying to get it back on our feet. Yeah. And we pushed it back just for it to make sense.
Is she like 19 now?
No, she's 21.
You pushed it way back 6 more years.
Yes, and another thing I want to mention too as well, as you guys have been following us along and as you recollect on this podcast, today is Justin's last day as our producer here on the Habibi Show. Justin has decided to move on and to go start his own Habibi Show.
It's going to be the Cariño Show because, Hispanic.
Right. But we want to give a round of applause for Justin for everything he's done here. And thank you, Justin. Next week we have a new producer, and we will introduce him to the show. But thank you guys again for joining in for this week's episode 5. We're talking about friendships. This guy right here, I met him in 2016, almost 8 years ago. Yeah. 8 years ago. And through challenges in life, and not our challenges, but just through life circumstances, he's become not just a friend. He's become a brother.
Thank you.
He's become a mother, as you guys saw last week. Grandpa, a coach, a life coach.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
And I wouldn't be who I am today, if it wasn't for this guy right here. And I learned so much from him, so much.
Thank you.
And not just in business, but also in friendships. In the last couple of years, I've lost quite a bit of friends. Yeah. And in that, I've learned a lot about friendships and relationships and life. But even through thick and thin, you had the saying, right? You had the saying where somebody's either a lesson or a reason, a season or a lesson, right?
Yes.
And that was something we learned here on this podcast, and that was something I hold dear to my heart. But friendships is an interesting aspect or interesting part of our life.
Yes.
And
friendship is just a benefit. Somebody was saying, as you go in life, you make friends and then you lose friends. Yeah. And if you end up toward the later part of your life, if you end up with one good friend, you're very lucky. And honestly, I can say for myself, and I think for Hector as well, that I'm very lucky that I've had a group of friends since I was 5, 6 years old. No matter how much the distance, I was born in Egypt, and my friends in Egypt, they're like Coach and Emo and Ashraf and Kamal and Rifat. I mean, 5 guys that's always been there for me, no matter what.
Right.
And they're very honest. I remember I was in America. I came here and I was like, I haven't been back to Egypt in maybe 5, 6, 7 years, or maybe longer. And it was the first time my friend Ashraf, who is very, very successful in his business in Egypt, he came to visit me in America for the first time. So I went to pick him up from the airport. I was very excited. I had my wife and daughter. I was like, wow, my buddy is coming. And that guy, the first thing he tells me after 10 years I haven't seen him, dude, you look like a cow. You gained so much weight. And actually, I have to say he was right. But also, he's very hairy, so I told him, and you look like a gorilla, so don't tell me that I look like a cow. But actually, when he made that comment, it really helped me realize
that you look like
I
a
need
cow.
to lose weight. Yes, that I really need to lose weight, and that really helped me.
Yeah.
So, but this is the friendship
Sure.
that really helps.
Honesty.
Yes, like I know my father always said, your friend is the one that make you cry and cry with you, not make you laugh and laugh at you.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
so it is true. I mean,
I'm always crying with you.
and I'm laughing at you.
You're laughing like you were.
So this is like a combination of what my mother said. No, but it's, you know, it is true. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, I think that there's so many different types of relationships between human, right?
Sure.
Whether it's love or marriage, or so friendship in general, not 100%, is between 2 people from the same sex. In general,
Yeah.
like you find your best friend. If you're a guy, your best friend for life is another guy since you were little. And if you're a girl, your best friend is another girl. They are exceptions, of course. Time have changed, so there are exceptions. But in general, and the difference between friendship and marriage or love, friendship maybe comes with less expectations, so it lasts.
Right.
So, for example, if I'm sick and you're busy, you can't take me to the hospital or to the doctor, I'm not going to be mad at you. But if my wife doesn't take me, then I would be very mad.
Right. She left you there dying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But my friend, you know, I can give him an excuse. And I don't know why, but that's why friendship lasts.
Gotcha.
We get married and we divorce. We work and quit. But there's certain friends, they don't go away.
Right. I have a saying, you know, like you said, there's different classes of types of friends in your life too, as well, and also that I apply the knowledge that I have in business as a CEO. But I always say that you're not just a CEO in business, but you're also the CEO of your life.
Absolutely.
And the people you bring into your life could be hired, promoted, or demoted at any time, or even fired at any time. And that we have an obligation to see who belongs in our circle, right? Yeah. And I used to be the type of guy like, oh, everybody's my friend. Like I'm gonna tell you a little bit story with me, but you know, I have a lot of crazy stories.
Go for it.
Go for it. You know, when I was a kid, I went to 13 different schools. Did I tell you that?
Yes.
Yeah, 13 different schools growing up.
Wow.
My parents couldn't afford to keep us at one place, and so we would jump from home to home or apartment to apartment, or even there was a time that I was living in I was sleeping in the living room with my sisters, and we had a duplex, right? And it was a pretty bad situation, sad looking back, but because of that, I went from school to school, and I would go from one school going to the next and try to look for friendships and having friends, and only to be yanked away, and then going to another school, and I kept moving around. And eventually I just didn't have the consistent friends that, like, I see my kids when they have those consistent friends, or how I hear you saying, how you had friends since you were 5. I never experienced that because those experiences,
there was no stability.
there's no stability, right? I was constantly being moved from one place to another. So as I got older, I realized that when I started getting into college and I had my own control over my life, wasn't at the risk of my parents moving, that my friendships were now being developed in my career and college.
Yes.
So my true friendships have really started about 16, 17, and those friendships have stuck around. But because I went through that traumatic experience of jumping from school to school, here I am, an older adult. There's a therapy session. Thank you, Dr. Phil. But after I've gone through all these schools, I went through a time that, this guy's my friend, or this girl's my friend, Justin's my friend, this is my friend, everybody's my friend, because I want a lot of friends because I didn't have that when I was a kid, right? But I learned the hard way that not everybody deserves to sit
the title friend.
The friend.
Yes.
They don't deserve that title. And not everybody deserves to sit at your table.
No, the word friend is a very, very powerful word.
Right.
Like I remember also, your childhood friends are different than the friends that you meet later in life. But also I've been very fortunate that when I came to the United States from Egypt, it was kind of like a new beginning for me. So I made friends that are very similar in status as the one I made in Egypt at first grade. Because to me, coming to America, I was like 22, 23 years old. It was kind of like being in first grade again.
Right.
And I mean, these guys.
Now you got to start all over again.
Yeah. But these guys like Richard Fox, this guy, he's very successful. He's CEO of
Great
Fox
guy, by the way.
Mark. Yeah, great guy. I mean, he's from Chicago, so his nickname is Jackass. That's how cool he is. But I remember the first time I met him when my wife at the time played tennis with his wife at the time.
Yeah.
And I went to see him, and I was like, man, that guy is rude. But within 10 minutes, I loved him so much because he was real.
Yeah.
He reminded me of my friends growing up, that he's not going to sugarcoat anything. But that's because he really cares.
Right.
And, after COVID or during COVID, my business was impacted so much. This guy took me to his office. Not just me and my staff.
Wow.
And made room by squeezing his staff into one tiny office just so I can have room.
Man.
And for 2 years, he will not let me go. And he will not even collect a dime from me. Like I will take a check to give it to him. He will just say, don't do that. And he will tear it off and throw it away.
What a great,
that's this kind of friendship I'm very lucky to have it.
And you hit the nail on the head with that. It took a challenge. It took a disaster in your life, the COVID, right? It took that to see who your real friends were, right? And I think that's where our bond, where we got very close was then.
Yes.
And then during my circumstance too, as well, 2 years ago when I had a near meltdown here at the office, and I had employees who were trying to sabotage our operations here, and we're going through a lawsuit for that. I had very close people. I thought they were very close friends to me, very close. I thought I considered them brothers.
Yes.
And they walked away, and they left me, but you were there.
Well,
you were there. You stood up.
Amazing.
Not only did you walk away. Not only did you not walk away, but you stood up, and you were there for me, and you were more involved, and you even helped out this business too as well in many ways. And if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for this guy right here, we wouldn't have the studio. We would not be where we are today.
You are too kind.
No, but it's true. It's true. And I'll tell you, where we are today, and I appreciate everything you've done for Brand Nation and me. But, and that is brotherhood, brother. That's something where, when people are walking away, there's a saying, I think Oprah said it. I don't know, Oprah.
It was Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry, yeah. Everybody wants to jump into the limo.
That's right.
but not everybody wants to push it.
Unless
When
it's Excelsior Limo.
I'll go out and
If
push
it's
it.
Excelsior Limo,
Yes.
please push it.
Yes, if
Yes.
everybody wants to be in the limo when it's time to ride in it, but if the limo breaks down, there's not many people who want to help push it.
Yeah.
And those that are help pushing it are those that you really absolutely want to be close to you. Now, there's people along the way that they're there for the lesson
Yeah.
or the season
Yeah.
or a reason.
Yeah.
And I learned that. I learned that through the challenges. But it is interesting to see that sometimes how God works, or
Yes.
things happen.
To direct you in the right direction without even you knowing it.
Yeah, I have a really crazy story, even further crazy story. But go ahead. I don't want to go into that.
No, but like I have another example.
Sure.
On a lighter note.
Yes.
Like when you think about it, when you meet a girl for the first time, and first time you go home together, first time you're gonna get in bed with her, you help her take off her clothes. She helps you take off your clothes, and you have sex. And after you're done, everybody dress themselves. What is the moral of the story? Nobody helps you unless they wanna sleep with you. You know what I mean? But once they sleep with you, nobody helps you anymore.
All right. So whether you're like Justin, in and out, and getting ready to leave Brand Nation and ready to leave and
I
go
am
to their own
sad.
company,
I'm really sad, seriously.
But Justin, guess what? We have Excelsior Transportation to help you
To take you to your new office.
to help you get you wherever you want, to and from, whether it's from the airport, or whether it's from the George R. Brown Convention Center, or whether if you're in San Antonio or trying to get to the courthouse.
Anywhere in nationwide or overseas.
Yes, but there is one company that I trust, and I even trust them with my own kids. That's because Sammer says I'm not supposed to be around the school zones for 250 feet.
That's it. Yeah, it's getting better.
It's getting better.
It used to be 300
It
feet.
has to be 300 feet. And I'm not supposed to leave the house after 7 a.m.
And you have to blow in that.
Yes. So in those cases, I use Excelsior Transportation. Excelsior is the best in the world. So make sure you hit them up. It is excelsiorlimo.com, the best in Houston and around the world. If you're looking for transportation, hit them up.
But-
I always go to sleep with my clothes on.
But
Poor me.
but
I wake up, I sleep in my jeans.
but I'll tell you something. Like I'll tell you, you know the thing like about being there.
Yeah.
I remember I was like the director of sales and marketing for a big hotel chain, and I decided to start my own business. And I called my buddy at the time, and we're still like brother to now. And I said, well, let's do this. And he said, yes. But we didn't have money. We had good jobs, but just paycheck to paycheck. But it was a great life. And so we said, let's buy 2 cars, 2 sedans. It's easy to buy 2 sedans. I had $5,000. He had his credit card.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my buddies, the one I mentioned earlier in Egypt, and we're all just still starting our careers at the time. And I was saying, you know, I have this much and I'm short 5,000, but I think in like maybe a month or 2, I'm going to get this 5,000 and this way I can get the car.
Right.
And they were like, oh yeah, wonderful. And then like 2 weeks later, I get a check in the mail for $5,000 from all those guys. I never asked them for it. I knew I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
They never told me, do you need it? But they just listened to me. They just heard me and they cared. And they talked to each other and each one paid whatever they can. And they sent me the check. And I called and said, what is that check for?
Yeah.
They said, well, you said you were short 5,000. I said, yes, but I knew I was going to get it. They said, well, why wait? We sent it to you. I said, okay, thank you. That really helps. As soon as I make money, I'll pay it back. They said, pay it back? You never asked us for it. That's not a loan. That's a gift.
Right.
You never told us. If you asked us for it, you have to pay it back.
Right.
You never did. And until today, and business did very well. They did very well in their lives. Not once anybody told me, well, where's my money?
Right.
No,
Yeah.
they got offended when I said, I'm going to send it back.
Yeah.
So, look, it's just life is like a long trip. And I remember my father always saying, I tell him, oh, I'm going to go out with this guy. He's a really good friend. And he will ask me that question. Have you traveled with him before? And I'll be like, no, I haven't. Then he will say, then you don't really know him.
Wow.
When you travel with someone,
You get to know them.
you get to know him. because you see the other side of that person.
Yeah.
Because you and I can go to
So when I
dinner
don't
and
invite you
everyone
for,
looks good.
if I don't invite you for breakfast, what does that say? What does that
That
say
says
about
I'm
me?
not traveling with you anymore. But no, but you see,
Right.
when you travel with
Sure.
someone, and I'm sure we can all
And I
relate
enjoy
to
traveling
that.
with you. I love travel.
Yes,
Yes, I love
and
it.
it
Yeah.
makes you closer. It makes you
Right.
feel like a
Right.
bond and a family. But I mean, there are people I travel with, and I don't want to travel with them again because
Yeah.
maybe they're difficult, maybe they're picky, maybe they're not easy.
Or that time
going.
when you took me to that restaurant and I don't eat seafood.
I know. We go to a taco place in Cozumel, one of my best favorite taco places. And we go there and we sit down. He looks at the menu. I don't like it. What? What do you mean? It only has seafood. It only has fish tacos.
I wanted some
I said,
beef
dude, it's
tacos."
shrimp and
Yeah.
they had pork. Well, I don't eat pork.
Yeah, I don't eat pork.
We had to leave. So that tells you I really don't know Hector
Yeah.
that well. But I still love him.
But he doesn't travel with me anymore.
No, but I tell you what, like everywhere we went, Hector and I've always had a great time.
Oh, always.
It's just he's so easygoing. He's
For the most
as
part.
long as you give him an iPhone, he's fine.
Like a little kid.
You know, like little kid on the
Like a little
iPad.
kid.
So
Like a little
no,
kid.
but I mean, friendship. I mean,
Yeah.
when I call somebody a friend, to me, that's not taken lightly. A friend is like,
Right.
you know, I mean, my son passed away.
Mm-hmm.
There's this friend of mine, Mike Burke. My God, he helped me so much. Like until now, when I go to the cemetery, I don't go without Mike Burke
Wow.
because it became like my son is ours.
Yeah.
You know, and he makes me feel so important and make me feel like I'm not alone going through that experience.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's so many stories about friends, but also they are friends
Friends that
just for fun.
they're the friends that want to be in the limo
Yeah.
and not be the friends that are
and
helping
that's
you push
okay.
them.
You need that too.
And then sometimes they're there.
as long as you're aware of it.
And also I've learned that is that the expectations of them only says
That's
they're only here
right.
for the limo ride.
They become, and I'm sorry to say that, friends with benefits, they become as an accessory.
Yeah.
You have a nice suit and you need a tie. I'm not saying using anybody,
Right.
but I enjoy being with those friends for what I know and what I expect.
Yeah.
I don't expect any more from them. So you know, I tell you what, it's like on a basketball team. There's how many players? 12 on the bench, on the roster? 12 players, I think.
12th, yeah.
Yeah, 12.
12 men, yeah.
You need each and every one of them, even the one that don't play. But you can practice without them.
Right.
So that's how it is in life. Not everybody in your life is going to be as strong, and you need all of them. But you know who is your 5 starters.
Yeah.
You
right.
know who is the star
Absolutely.
of the team.
Yes, you know your
But
starters
the rest are not bad.
They're on the bench.
But you just know.
And some of them
how
don't even
to
belong
u-
on the bench.
You know when do they come into play.
Right.
But they're not going to be there all the time.
Yeah.
And they can go to another team.
How often, Habibi, because you're only 2 years older than me.
2 dog years.
You're two eclipses. That's 100 years apart.
See, that's the kind of friend you don't want. That's the kind of friend that makes you laugh and laugh at you.
But how often do you get burned? How often? How have you? I mean, I'm sure there's stories of people who have.
I don't
burned you
get
as
burned
friends.
anymore.
You don't.
No, because I became immune to
Right.
being burned because I've been burned before and I learned.
Right.
And when it happens, I don't see that I'm burned. I see that that person burned themselves, and that's it.
They're lost.
You know, it's the same thing. It's the
Yeah.
same thing with like when you see a spaceship going up in the air.
Right.
At certain altitude, it's gonna drop certain parts.
Yeah.
And you drop those parts so you can go higher.
Yeah.
Because some friends are just like those parts cannot handle a higher altitude. So they get to a certain level and they can't go.
Right.
Either you go back with them down or they leave and
Sure.
you go higher.
I mean, and do you ever? I mean, I've been through stuff in my life and just the last couple of years, and sometimes I'm looking back in some friendships that I've had. Like there was one more particular last year where I had a friend that worked here, and he walked away and left, and we had a big falling out. We bumped heads, and he left. We were close friends, and he was working here, and but he helped me through the bad times.
Yeah.
but we had a disagreement through the in the long time at the end of it we had a disagreement, and while I was kind of hurt, and immediately I look back and I'm actually don't blame him for walking away, like because of what I was going
No,
through.
he did
Yeah.
what he was supposed to do.
Right.
And then he got from you what he needed.
Right, and
now he
helped me
can't
through
get
what
that anymore.
He did. I
He
feel like
found another-
at the end of the day, we all say he did me wrong, and this person did me wrong. We all say that.
But he did good things
But
too.
you're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I do look back and I say, you know what, this guy, he helped me through the worst.
Yes.
And I'm grateful for that. And it was
Yeah.
that season. It was
Yes.
that seasoned person.
And like I think any relationship, whether it's marriage or friends or family, it's kind of like a bank account. You make deposits.
Right.
So all your good deeds toward this friendship are deposits.
Yeah.
And sometime you're gonna do a withdrawal.
Right.
As long as you have a balance.
Yeah.
Now, if you run out of balance, then there is no money to withdraw. And that's how a relationship is, I think.
Yeah, I had a very close friend, and you know the story. Very close friend when I was in San Antonio, and we were me and my wife and my kid, my daughter, were literally at their house for a Halloween party.
Yeah.
And during that time, we were already going through a near meltdown here at the business. And this friend was also a client of mine. We're going through legal issues, or we're going through a lawsuit right now where we're actually suing individuals. And through evidence, I found out that, that so-called friend was actually helping the people, the individuals that we were suing, or giving them information. And that came out that even though I was already kind of like at a place where I found it where I wasn't truly trusting of the guy because of what happened, because he completely ghosted me during this whole process, and it didn't make sense. And then to find out that there was conversations while literally about when I thought he was my brother.
Yeah.
While I'm there at his house, and he's testing me and my wife to see what we're going to say and things that we're going to say, and he's giving these individuals information who are these ex-employees who are no longer my employees. I'm like, this is my so-called brother.
Yeah.
I've learned and that goes to say that an incident happened last year where I was at the gym, and some guy came up to me, and he just came out of the blue, and he says, "Do you believe in God?" And I said, "Yes." He goes, "Well, God wants me to tell you that fake friends are worse than enemies."
Absolutely.
Fake friends are worse than enemies. And he goes on to tell me that he goes, "Hector, you walk around with thinking that butterflies are following you because of your big heart."
Yes.
But they're not. These butterflies that you think they're actually mosquitoes, because they see the big heart and all the blood that you're providing to them, and they're just sucking you dry.
Yes.
And I was just like, I wanted to bawl crying when he told me that. And he goes on to say, not everybody deserves to sit at your table.
No.
Be careful who sits at your table.
But you see, there is a fine line between fake friends and limited friends.
Right.
Some friends are really amazing in certain talents.
Yeah.
And now if we put them in a different place, they might fail, and we start thinking they're fake. Some of them are not fake, they're just limited.
Yeah.
That's the same thing like with that spaceship going up, and
The
some
boosters
parts are
fall.
going to drop,
Yeah.
and you're going to go higher.
Yeah.
They just cannot go as high as you.
Right.
That's all what it is. So I always look at it, everybody I meet adds something to me, whether add something positive or add something I learn not to want anymore.
Right.
And that's it. But there's really, a friendship that becomes bad is when it goes over what it was supposed to do.
Right.
When it's cannot do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
But at some point, it's like when you have a headache, you take a Tylenol.
Yeah.
When your headache is gone, you don't take that Tylenol anymore. So sometimes that's just how it is.
No, that's brother. You're just full of
Tylenol. You want some
this
Tylenol?
Is the Habibi therapy session with Hector. That's all it is. You're just giving me therapy. It's Hector's therapy session live, everybody, and everybody gets to see it.
But really, there is good in everyone, It is up to us to find out what they're
Right.
good and how to utilize it. Not to use people,
Yeah.
but how to put. Look, again, like I go back to the basketball idea.
Robert Horny.
Like for example, look, if you take somebody like a center,
Yes.
right, and you put him as a guard, he's
Right.
gonna fail miserably.
Yes.
Or you take a guard, a 5.5 guard, and put him as a center. He's gonna fail miserably.
Right.
So it's very important to put the right people in the right
In your
place.
life, what you know they need them for. Like I have a friend that I know that if I need gambling advice, I go to him.
That's true. Right?
Right? I mean, you know, if this guy's
That's the best friend ever.
that's a great friend. I have a really.
I went
Yeah.
with my nephew to Vegas during the F1, that race,
Yes.
the Formula One. So, by the way, my nephew is like older than me, so don't think like he's a baby. No, no, he's not older than me. He's only like a few years younger. But we went to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, he won like over. I told you, he
Yeah,
won like
80,000,
95,000. Like on that machine, the slot machine, he made $39,000. I lost $600. But he was so sweet. Okay, that nephew,
Yeah.
Alex,
Yes.
is my best friend too. He's
Wow.
not just a nephew.
Right. He's your
You
best
know,
friend. Yes.
He's my best friend because also he felt so bad that he made that much money and I lost $600. So one night in Vegas, he had an envelope and gave it to me. I said, Alex, what is that for? He said, well, I know you lost $600. Here is your $600. Just don't gamble anymore. I said, dude, I don't want my money. I'm gonna gamble again. No, but then he took me out for dinner and we had fun and he wouldn't ask me to pay anything because he really felt bad that his uncle lost $600.
Right. That's really nice of. That's a good, very good nephew
Alex
and
is,
friend.
But also,
Yeah.
even within your family,
Yes.
within your brothers or sisters, or they could be great brothers but not friends.
Right. No, I have, I would say like friends that are closer than family.
That's right.
Well,
friends you choose.
Yes.
You don't
family
choose your family. You don't choose a family.
And I do teach my kids too. At the end of the day, all you have left will be your family.
That's
That's
right.
at the end of the day. That's who.
But
you
also,
fight-
but also, you tell me who are your friends. I'll tell you who you are.
or I'll tell you your future.
Or I'll tell you exactly where you're going.
Yes.
So I mean, we all have that one bad loser friend.
Right.
We all have one, or we've had one. And maybe he's the funniest. Maybe he's the most dedicated.
Right.
But every time I go out with that guy, I get in trouble.
Oh, I've had.
But
those,
he's a
yeah.
wonderful guy. Like we go fishing, and we ended up like losing the boat, and the barracudas are gonna come and eat us, and because he's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you want to be visible? Do you want to be known? Do you want to increase your volume of business? Just call Brand Nation, and don't worry. Don't ask too many questions. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. That's what they do. They're gonna put you on the map. And not just on the map as a little dot. You're going to be the biggest dot on that map because they do a great job and they listen to what you want.
Yes.
Not what they like, is what you want, and they're going to get it done.
Yes.
So
if you
thank you for doing that for my company.
Yes. So if you want to be that dot on the map, call 713.
big dot.
Big dot. 713-999-4661. If you need TV commercials, websites, logo design, we got it all for your business. If you need any marketing, give us a call. GoBrandNation.com, 713-999-4661. It's funny because I have a friend that I went to. Well, here's the thing. I'm the type of guy, like if you're going through a divorce or going through a situation, and you're my friend, my brother, I want to pick you up. Like I want to uplift you and let's go have fun. My friend, very close friend of mine, he was going through a situation with his baby mama. They weren't married. They decided to split up, and this was a while back, and we ended up going to I said, let's go to Miami. I paid for his trip, air and hotel. We went to Miami, and while we were out there, true story, we're out there, and I said, hey, and on the way over there, I even told him, I said, hey, bro, let's let you know, if you plan on getting back with your baby mama and something happens out here, it might go back. Like and you gotta be careful because if it gets back to her, it's gonna ruin a lot of things.
Yeah.
Okay. And just be careful. Like if you want to do it, just think about the consequences. I told him, if you want to hook up with the girl out here, just think about what you're gonna do. Okay. Because in that when a couple separate and when they start coming back, or they try to make efforts to come back, they go through this period where, okay, now be honest with me and tell me who you slept with while we were separated. And I'm sure like during that time that he was going to be open with, with whatever girl he connected out there in Miami, right? So we go out there. And we're out there. We would go down South Beach, and we're partying, and we went to different clubs. Well, me and him, we ran into. We were there at the clubs, and I said, "Hey, you know what? I'll be your wingman there in South Beach." So there was 2 girls there. A true story. And by the way, forgive me, kids, because I did tell you your mom knows everything. Eva knows everything, and Eva knows that. Even though I tell Eva everything, by the way.
This weekend is not going to be good.
It's not.
This quinceañera is going to be canceled.
No, well, this podcast is coming out after the quinceañera.
Oh, good. Yeah, wait.
I'll be in Cozumel by myself next
exactly.
week. However, so we're there, and I said, "Hey, bro, I'll be your wingman." He goes, "Man, I want to go talk to that girl." Okay. I'll go talk to her friend because it was 2 of them, right? I'll go talk to her friend. You talk to her, and then and we just start. We start dancing, and we're just a group. We're having a great time, and I'm just there, and I'm like, man, I kind of want to get the night over with because I have no intentions with the girl that I'm talking to, but obviously I'm waiting for him to close the deal because he's taking forever.
Yeah.
Well, long story short, this girl, we end up going there, and this girl, the girl that I was the wingman for her, and I was like, was going after her. Well, I was going after her, but I was a wingman. Correct.
Yeah.
That wasn't going after her. But she wanted to hook up with me, and I told her no, that I was married, and that made it worse. Like telling her no, that I'm not, I'm married, and of course that made her even go even more wild.
Was more attractive.
Yes, absolutely. I should have told her that I was
gay.
That, or I should have. That would probably made her go wild too. Or I should. And these days,
brother
or
brother would have been.
Right, or if I'm an inbred, in these days, if you tell a girl now that you're jobless and you're welfare, that makes them go crazy. But anyways,
they want somebody to take care of.
Right.
Where are those girls?
Right. Well, long story short, this girl, I ended up telling this girl no. Somehow she got my number and my Snapchat. She was able to message me.
Somehow.
Yeah. Well, we're drinking.
Somehow.
But I ended up leaving, going back to the hotel, and I told my friend, hey, "You're on your own because I'm tired. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna go back." And I know he gave the girl I was talking to my Snapchat and my number.
Yeah, good move. So
that's what she did.
Good.
That's what he did. And so she was calling me, "Where you at?"
Good comeback. Yeah. Good comeback.
I promise that's how that happened.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I don't know if anything happened with him and her. We ended up going back to Houston, flying back. We had a great time, and flying back to Houston. And by the way, I told Eva about what happened and everything, so she was cool with it, and I appreciate my wife for trusting me through all this. But my friend ends up telling his girl
what?
That I was his ex, that I was in Miami, and he told her that I was trying to get him to hook up with other girls.
Well, this is the one part that drops from that
and it
spaceship.
Causes huge argument,
feud between
us and them. I'm like, I cannot believe that I was the fall guy for this when I had warned him about it in the beginning, which is fine. You know what? And you know what? Because I was the type of friend too. I was like, you know what? Cool. I'll be the fall guy. I'll be the blame. I'm the bad guy. Well, that wasn't just it. His mom ended up calling me. Said that I was a bad influence, and saying, "Stay away from my son. You're a bad influence. You're just getting him in trouble. You're trying to cause him and his girl to get separated." And all this stuff. Like, oh my gosh! And I would stay quiet because that's my friend's mom.
Yeah.
And again, I took the blame, and so he ended up not talking to me for like a year and a half through all that, which I was cool with all that. But even as a friend, I was willing to take the blame for him, so for the sake of his family. And I told him that. I said, "Bro, if you need me to be the fall guy for all this, so that your son, you and your hopefully future wife, can work things out, and y'all live under one roof with your son, I'll take the blame. I'm willing to not even talk to you." I told him, I'm willing to not even talk to you for the rest of my life if that means you guys and your son has the peace and the family you're looking for. And I was willing to do that. I'm okay with that because that to me is even sometimes true friendship is that. is that you
But I
love
wanna
your.
ask you something.
What's that?
Would you lie for your friend? So, for example, let's say you have a friend that met a girl and he's married or dating, and then he tells you to lie for him so he doesn't get in trouble. Would you lie for him?
Well, didn't I just do that? I mean, wouldn't have that.
Exactly,
I did that. Like, I accepted the blame.
But no, accepted the blame. Yeah, but would you lie for your friend?
Would I lie for him?
Yeah.
That would be
Like, would your friend say, "Oh, please tell my wife that I spent the night at your house," and
that's
he
kind
really
of
did
that's
it?
kind of bro code, but yes,
You will do it.
yes, I would.
I love you.
I would
I love
absolutely.
you.
That's bro code. That's absolutely,
Would
absolutely. That's bro code. I would.
Would you?
I've
Would
and
you
I've
be
done
an
that.
alibi? For
I've
your
done that
friend
several
in court-
times,
in
by the way.
court?
I've
In court?
seen in court.
Yes.
No, I would not do that in court because it is in the judge of law before God with my hand on the Bible and before the judge. I would never do that. And then if all you people in my lawyers are listening, and
What
the
if it's
lawyers,
your best friend?
huh?
What
My
if
best
it's
friend?
your best friend, and he's really innocent, but he just wants you to say.
Are
that
you
were
interrogating me
Yeah.
like you're a lawyer?
No, okay. This is the scenario. This is the scenario. This is the scenario. Okay?
I would lie.
Your friend. Wait,
I would
wait,
lie
wait.
for my friend, but
Wait,
not in court.
Wait. Your friend.
That is on record.
But wait a second.
That is on record. I have to
Your
go to trial
friend-
in September.
But wait,
This is to be evidence.
Your friend really was innocent. He didn't steal this car, or he didn't
Sure.
commit this accident, or whatever. But he doesn't have any evidence
Sure.
to prove it. But you know he's innocent. And he said, "Hey, Hector, can you please just say that I was with you and I wasn't even driving my car that day?"
Yes, I would.
But you really didn't.
But
He didn't. You were not with him that day.
Do you think
And
that's-
you go to the judge and say, "Yeah,
okay,
judge, he was with me."
Okay, then this
Would you
case.
do that?
Okay, well here let me. This is good. This is good.
I really
This
want to
is good.
know
This is
what
good.
you guys
This-
think.
Dun, dun, dun. They put that court trial music on
Would
the
you
background.
do that for your friend, knowing that he's innocent?
Let me spin it this way. Is he really a friend to
Yes.
put me in that situation?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
If he asked me to lie in court,
Not lie. He insinuate like, "Man, I wish I find somebody that can do it," and kind of like hinting.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's not to me. That's not right. That's not
Well,
right,
sir, I'm not asking your opinion.
Yes.
I'm saying, would you do it or not?
Okay, one day I want to be city
Knowing
council
that
and I
he's-
want to run for mayor for Houston.
Knowing,
So
knowing that he's
So-
knowing that he's innocent.
yeah, knowing that he's innocent, I would.
It's just he can't prove it unless somebody give him
An
a
alibi.
solid alibi. But you know he's innocent.
How would I know if I
You
know,
know
he's
he's
innocent?
innocent.
If I know he's innocent, then
Yeah.
I would know he's innocent. And I would
You
say
know-
he's innocent and I would speak based
No,
on
you
the
know
truth.
he's innocent. Like if I tell you, "Hector, trust me, I promise you, brother, I really did," and you know me as a good person, you know
Yes.
me as a good friend, and you know I'm not gonna lie to you. I just don't know how to prove it to court.
Okay, let me put this way, because I'm in a trial of my own right now.
Okay.
I have many friends here in staff.
Yeah.
I have my own wife that's
Yeah.
on staff. That's gonna probably have to take the stand. I have employees here. I would not tell them. I have not told anybody to step out of line to tell them to lie or to go as who I am in their life, whether I'm their friend, their boss, and husband. I had not told them one time to ever squeeze to overdo it or
Brother,
over exaggerate.
if I know that you're innocent-
but you know why? But here's why. You know why I didn't do that?
Why?
Is because at the end of the day, I am the friend. I'm still the friend.
Yeah,
and
it's
I don't,
not fair to ask somebody
and
to
I am
lie.
not ever
No,
going to put
it's
them in
not
a
fair.
situation
It's not fair.
in a courtroom with a judge because I do.
What if it's your daughter? What if it's your daughter and you know she's innocent? It's your daughter, man. You know she's innocent. I mean, the next question would be like,
well,
if you know she's not innocent.
I-
But let's just
I just go. I just go back to man. I feel like I'm in the courtroom right now.
Well, I want to tell you something.
This is good.
Look,
but-
just to make it easy.
Yeah,
on
this is
you.
good. Well, let me answer that.
Just
Let me
to
answer
make
that
it
question.
easy-
But let me
but
answer.
wait,
Let me answer
just
your
to
question.
make it easy
Yes,
on you.
yes.
If my daughter is innocent,
Yes.
and I know that she's innocent because I believe her, I trust her, she's my love,
Sure.
I will do it.
Right.
I
Okay.
will do it. I will, as long as I know that she's innocent, I will provide her with an alibi because it's
That's
my
your
daughter.
Yeah.
That I respect.
Sure.
And also, not like if I know my daughter is a loser,
I-
I'll be like, look, you brought this on yourself. But if she's really innocent, she just can't prove it.
Yeah. I I believe in doing the right thing, and I'm talking. And I believe that you reap what you sow, and I believe that if I'm in trial or if I'm going to do that, and this is going to be if I'm in trial or if I'm in a courtroom and I have to speak on behalf of my daughter or my wife, and I'm going to speak the truth of what really happened, knowing that I'm standing before God, right? Because and God is in control. I know that God's going to handle the outcome, and I know that God's not going to reward me and reward whoever based off the outcome of me doing the right thing in that situation.
Yes.
If there was a situation where like my son I thought about it. My son goes out and, and he gets himself in trouble or, knock on wood, or, he's drinking and gets caught driving and hits somebody on the way or whatever. You never know, right?
Yeah.
I hope to God he never does that. I teach my kids not to do that. But, at the end of the day, what's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. And,
that's
and God,
different.
and the thing is, that's what I say. I believe I've seen it time after time that God rewards that.
But if your son rob a bank,
If my son robs a bank, if he robs a bank, my son's going to jail.
No, wait a second. Wait. The question is, he robbed the bank and nobody ever found out. Would you turn him in?
Yes. I would.
Even if he shares the money with you? No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's good. Those are good questions. These are really good questions. I love it.
The question will be like, well, how much money?
No. Son, if you're watching, you go out and commit crime, you're going to do the time.
If you're watching and you rob a bank, you better rob a lot of money, because I'm not going to go to jail just for nothing.
Now, will I help him?
I'm just kidding.
But will I help him with court?
I don't have a son, by the way.
Will I help him with legal fees? Yes. Will I help him with certain things? Yes. Hoping that he learns his lesson. But myself, what I teach my kids, if you do the crime, you're going to do the time.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie for you.
What if your son has to do a urine test for drugs, and he said, Dad, can you take the test for me?
No,
I'm just kidding.
Be responsible. And
But
plus, mine will fail too. Mine will fail too. Mine will fail too.
Actually, the idea that we're trying to do, it's very tough to tell what you're going to do at a certain situation when you're not in it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like Hector said, what's right is right.
Right.
Really.
And the thing is, if you had asked me a year ago or 2 years ago before I had this trial, and looking back on all this, is that not one person in this company, not one, we could go and ask everyone in here. I have never asked anybody here.
So I'll ask you after the trial. This way you will be more
over exaggerate. I've asked them to say the truth.
I will ask you after the trial.
Yeah,
This way you can answer freely.
Yes, but I've told them.
I know.
I have told them to answer the truth, and that's because I don't ever want to put them in that situation.
That's correct.
We have another member.
Doing the right thing is always the right way to do it.
We have a member too. We have people here who serve in pastors.
Yes.
Right, and as pastors, they might have to take the stand to represent me.
Yeah. I just have to say, Lila, please take the money back. Because, now I feel really guilty. But I see him going like this.
He's going like this. He's going like this. Okay.
Every episode he's doing this.
Samar, that was some good questions. I love it. That will do it. But we never did it, by the way. That'll do it for this week's therapy session with Hector that we call the Habibi Show. I love it.
I can't wait till the next one.
That's awesome.
We'll come up with some crazy questions. I hope you...
We might have a special guest.
Let us know. Yeah, I think
guest,
so.
Yeah.
I think so. But but I really hope anybody that's watching to kind of maybe give us ideas about what kind of question would you like to know the answer. So, but again, thank you very much.
Thank you guys for watching and following. Make sure you follow us on the habibishow.tv.
Yes.
If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. We're also on Spotify.
Yeah.
And
the Apple thing. What is it?
Apple Podcasts. Yeah. We're on Android. We're on all the podcasts. So,
we're on the Motorola flip phone.
And then also Habibi is on OnlyFans.com too as well.
But only feed.
Only Habibis.com.
But really, thank you.
Habibi, I love you, brother.
I love you
but
too,
thank
Habibi.
you guys for watching.
I would lie for you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. But I would hope to never ever put you in a situation like that.
No, it will be voluntarily.
Now that we're on that.
No,
Now that we're on that.
It's 51 minutes. I've
had clients that told me, "Hey, I will testify on your behalf if you want me to," and I don't coach them. I told them, and they're my friends, and I tell them, "You say what really happened."
Yes,
and that's it.
And that was after you left the $5,000 on their desk.
That was when somehow a helicopter came over and dropped.
That's right.
Yes. I don't know
Hector! I can't wait till
Yes.
Saturday for the quinceañera.
I can't wait, brother.
Yes.
To all of our friends and family and everybody who's listening around the world, thank you so much for following the Habibi Show and the hundreds that are keep watching. We
Thank
appreciate you. Follow us, and we'll be back next week.
Love
God
you
bless.
all. Love you.
That was
I
good.
knew it was going to go that direction.